Hello, everybody. If you guys don't know, this is Aki. We kind of walked past each other a few times in high school, but never talked. And then later on, when we ended up moving to the same city, we ended up hanging out a lot more. And she's pretty much, I think, the only Japanese person I know. But we also happen to be really cool. Gonna do ramen today. As you guys know, I've never had ramen. I've talked about this a few times. And because I like anime, people are like, what do you mean you haven't had ramen? Here's the interesting thing. Like, one of my favorite animes called Naruto. The main character is absolutely obsessed with ramen, specifically, every episode. And I was like, bro, that shit don't look that good. But now, I was like, yo, I'm going to try it, see what it's out. Obviously, this is not exactly the ramen that he had, because his had, like, eggs and...
There's egg in this, but there's, like, different styles of ramen, and it comes from different places.
Okay.
And so... I'm not like master historian in this.
Okay.
But so there's kurumi and Hakata style. So it's just different types of like how you do the broth and everything. And sometimes depending on which area or what type of ramen, it'll have different toppings. Okay. And so Naruto is like that little squiggly pink thing in the
Oh, it's a topping?
Yeah, it's a topping.
Okay.
But I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I don't like it. So
you don't like Naruto?
No, it's like it's cute and everything and you always get it in your
That's a problem.
Food, but
the viewers are definitely not going to like it now.
Well, like, no, not the TV show, but the food thing. Yeah,
I have no doubt. You know what's interesting? I was like, I love anime, but I've never been like overly obsessed with Japanese culture. I'm not a weebo. You ever heard of that term?
What?
Weeb.
What's that?
It's basically describing like a Western fan of Japanese and anime culture. A weeb is a derisive term for non-Japanese person who's obsessed with Japanese culture and that they wish they were actually Japanese. There you go. They have conventions called otaku-thon, which is like crazy, like this whole gathering of nerds and I'm really not. I remember when I went to the convention, I'm not gonna lie to you, I sat there and I basically just observed all these people in like get-up outfits. And it's always weird because when you go to these anime conventions, you'll see characters like Deadpool and I'm like, why is Deadpool fucking here? But yeah, these people all love to dress up and they dance to like J-pop. And
I don't even listen to J-pop.
Yeah, it's terrible.
My mom shows me certain things.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's very it's kind of like J-dramas. It's like very melodramatic, I guess. Or
you want to talk about melodramatic? Watch a K-drama. The main character almost always dies or has cancer.
Yeah, J-drama is the same. They get you in the feels.
I want you to meet a weeb who speaks Japanese. I just want to see your face.
I usually just go like, oh.
Well,
I just usually like nod and like, oh, and like they speak Japanese and I don't have to respond. But in my Japanese classes, there were like a lot of people who are into anime.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And they all talk really fast and like colloquially. But it's not like proper Japanese.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
Like, because in Japanese, there's different levels of formality.
Okay.
And so there's honorific terms, there's kind of more heightened language, and then there's very colloquial, casual. So you talk with your friends, close friends and family in the most colloquial way, and then heightened.
I'm going to be honest with you. You've used colloquial 4 times, and I don't know what it means.
Colloquial?
I feel like it just means like, informal.
Informal, how the people speak day to day.
Okay. Yeah, so just everyday terms.
Yeah. And you don't speak that way with most people. Like at work, you would never speak to someone that way. It's all very formal.
Can you give me an example of colloquial in English?
Hey, how you doing?
I see now. Okay.
Versus, how are you?
And what was it like taking classes with those people?
Weird.
Why?
Because they're automatically interested in you just because, first of all, they try to assess if you're Japanese or Chinese. Okay. And then they're like, once they know you're Japanese, they're like, and then they become glued to you.
Yeah, and they're like, what anime do you watch?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't watch anime.
Yeah. Is there like disappointment in them?
Yeah, they're like, how? But you can understand it. It's like this.
That's like being like, huh? You speak English, but you don't like rap music, but you can understand it.
Yeah, like because people want to watch it without reading subtitles, right?
I don't know. Again, like that's the weird thing for me. I think when I went to otaku-thon, that's what threw me off. Is like, oh, you guys are obsessed with this culture, like almost to the point where you don't want to be whatever you are. And that to me was always weird. Like I can appreciate something without wanting to be it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And I feel it's strange because I don't know that phenomenon happening in many with other cultures.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, have you ever met a guy that like absolutely wanted to be black because he was so?
Yeah. You started talking. You're like, actually, I know a few. I was here. I'm like, she's not going to use a black reference. She's not going to bring up black people. I was like, oh my gosh, she did. Do you know how many wiggers I know?
That's a very offensive term.
Oh man, there's so many white dudes I know who like try to. In fact, did you see Tom Hanks' son?
No.
Try to speak patois. Oh, it's the most cringy.
Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chetana, coming straight from the Golden Globes. You know what I'm saying? Me father Tom Hanks presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
Big up them. Bullet, booyaka shot. I'm like, nobody talks like that, bro. There's plenty of people who want to emulate a culture to the point so much that they want to be part of it.
Actually, there's people who like move there and they get surgery to look like, I don't know in Japan, but like in Korea, some people move to Korea.
Look Korea?
And to look
it's
Korean.
Crazy. My little sister's obsessed with K-pop. She only dates Asian dudes.
Really?
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, it's just interesting.
It's just like she's obsessed. Like, you know, sometimes like you're interested. She, like, for her is everything.
Is she gonna?
I think she's toned it down, but obviously it's like really like molded her perception of the world. So, yeah, I mean, there's people who are crazy fans like that. And they want to be part of that culture, and so they start dressing like them. And it's okay. You're perfectly fine to do that. But I always think, like, where does that come from for people? Why can't they just appreciate something without having to become it? You know what I'm saying?
I think it probably has to do with, like, a sense of authenticity.
Okay.
Because if you learn the language, if you've lived there, if you marry someone from there, it's in a way, like, it's your way in, right? To, like, be validated for being a part of it. Because, like, in Japan, you can't become Japanese. You can't take your Japanese citizenship test. Okay. It's like you're
Aren't they kind of opening that up a little bit because of the fact that there's so many Japanese having so many few kids? They're opening up the immigration a little bit.
Oh, immigration, but you'd be a landed alien.
Okay, cool.
Like, you would never become, like, unless you've contributed to Japan culturally or economically or by science or whatever. Okay. Like, I think there's one environmentalist who was Welsh who was given Japanese citizenship.
Crazy. That's interesting. I'm not mad about the homogeneity of it all. I get it.
And if I wanted to not be, like, if I want to have a different citizenship, I'd have to let go of my Japanese citizenship.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
Yeah. At 21, it's like Hogwarts, but you get rejected by one. Yeah.
Interesting. I get the authenticity of it all, but I'm just like, why can't you just appreciate it from afar? Why do you have to become it? Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because you're not ever going to be that. You can emulate it. You can enjoy it as much. But
I'm never going to be that either.
No, because you weren't raised in it.
No, and
there's a difference.
I'm half white.
True.
And they will always...
They didn't know that. You didn't have to ruin the secret.
Well, I look it. Yeah. I'm very obvious.
Do you?
Like, I go to Japan. If I take off my sunglasses, people can't speak to me anymore.
No, okay.
Because like, there's like a barrier because my eyes look, and I've got freckles. And
that's true. That's a good point. You ever want to be more Japanese?
When I was younger.
Yeah.
I wish I was born there when I was little. Like, for me, it was like like, you imagine like Narnia or whatever. Like, it's a place where I felt displaced from it a bit. Mm. And I always wanted to be there. Okay. And so there was this wanting for it. And especially in Canada, everyone tells me I'm Japanese. Yeah, because you're not I look like... You're not Wonder Bread. So obviously you come with some flavor, then you're something else. Even if you're half Wonder Bread. Mm-hmm. And then with everyone putting that, like, if I'm the token Japanese person, but when I go to Japan, I'm not even... Yeah. They're like, oh, you're half, though. So I'm either Gaijin or half. Gaijin, I like that word. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? I think one day I'm going to turn my eyes and probably will learn Japanese eventually, just out of curiosity. But I don't think I've ever... Yeah. I'm probably going to do another episode on this, but just like people's obsession with wanting to become... I'm trying to think of other cultures that like, or other specific countries, because it's not like I want to be Asian. It's like I want to be Japanese, or like I want to immerse myself so fully. Well, I think Korean's probably another one.
Someone's like, I want to be Mexican. I think it's a matter of cultural exports. If you have a culture that people start to love it, like some people want to be American.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right? I think it's like if you export a certain specific cultural product, I think people then fall in love with the product, fall in love with the atmosphere that it was made in, and want to be part of that experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like for me, I wanted to be part of Dragon Ball Z. I did. I just saw the power-ups and fucking people up. I was like, yeah. I remember at one point I started putting like weights on my ankles just to train like them, you know what I mean? But because that looked cool to me, but I knew that was different than Japanese culture. I knew it wasn't the same thing. So I think that's what people are getting. They want to be part of that environment.
You know what's annoying?
What?
Growing up, when you get bullied for the shit that gets trendy and popular later.
How so?
When people are like, you get made fun of for your lunches and you have to ask your mom to make you sandwiches.
But you had Japanese lunches?
Yeah, my mom made, because that's how my mom, like, lunches for kids is very, like, a big thing in Japan. Like, moms compete.
So wait, kids here made you fun of you?
Yeah. And then they're like, because then my mom would make me, like, sushi and stuff. Like, vegetarian ones. Yeah. And I bring it to lunch and kids would make fun of me.
So you stopped bringing it?
No, I told my mom I don't like it. And I told her to make me sandwiches.
Fuck.
But then, guess she's so Asian. She made me like high tea finger sandwiches with cucumber and cut the crust.
Okay, so you still looked unique.
Yeah, and the bread got all soggy by lunchtime, and I was like, oh, "I just want bologna, Mom." But yeah,
bologna's gross.
It's disgusting.
If I would have known, I would have been like, "Yo, give me your lunch, and I'll trade with you." I remember growing up with like peanut butter sandwiches and bananas that were black, and I was like, "Yo, just give me." I look at other kids with Dunkaroos and shit. I was like, "Yo, y'all," you know what I mean? But then my mom would make Ethiopian food and I'd take that shit and I'd be walking around opening the fucking herbs and spices on everybody like, yo, what's up, niggas? You know what I mean? Like I would get so hyped when my mom made me a proper. So if you would give me a bento, I'd be like, yo, let's go.
Yeah.
But I get it. You didn't want to be made fun of and felt different, so I get it.
But then years later, people are like, oh, let's go to sushi. And so when sushi became popular, I was like, oh, you motherfucker. You see, like, casually, like, everyone is about sushi. I was like, really? Because I had to eat that in a different room.
For most of your time? What about in high school? Did you have that same experience?
No, my mom stopped making my lunches in high school.
Okay, then you started making your own? So then you made your own peanut butter sandwich?
No, I would just put brie on rice and melt it. And I would eat rice all the time.
All right, listen, we just had a great meal. Don't want to ruin it.
What do you know, just to start with, about ramen, like from watching your favorite characters eat it?
I don't know. I just saw the bowl go up in their face and they do this, and it disappears.
Okay.
Like magic. Like magic. So I don't know how it starts. I don't know what the proper etiquette is, but I do know me and chopsticks have never been tight. So, yeah.
Okay, so first I can teach you how to...
Hold the chopsticks?
Yeah. So, separate your chopsticks. Don't rub them together, because that's what, like,
what
truck drivers do. Like, you know how people go, like, at restaurants?
Oh, I would never
with,
do
like,
that.
Yeah, like, there might be, don't do that. That's what they do at, like, truck stops.
Okay, cool.
So take one of them, and you can hold it like a pencil.
Yeah, okay.
And then you put your other one.
Okay.
And it's basically like that. Like, I hold it like this.
Okay.
But it's not the correct way.
Okay.
It's funny, whenever you're teaching something to someone, do you ever, like, kind of forget how to do that?
Well, you know what's funny is that when you teach something to someone, you start to learn how to do it better because you understand the step-by-steps.
Yeah, when I'm explaining, I don't know.
When I started to teach people how to eat Ethiopian food, I got better at eating it because I had to learn the basics of it. Yeah. Okay, so...
So, and then you just, like, pick out your food so, like, you can grab anything.
So this is, like, a good thing to start with.
Yeah, have you ever had these?
I feel like I have zero pressure to hold it. Okay, like I'm holding it right now, but I feel like it's ready to fall. Okay, and so you dip in here?
No.
Okay, you just eat it?
Just eat it. But, like, don't eat the shell. Like, suck out the beans.
Huh?
Like, you're not gonna...
Why'd I put it in my mouth? I'm not gonna eat it.
Well, like, you suck... go push out the beans. Like, you can... Yeah.
I like how I just abandoned the fucking...
You can eat it with your hands. Like, you can... It's finger food.
I need to learn how to use these chopsticks because this is like level 1 difficulty, and I'm struggling. Like I can
make you a kid chopstick holder with an elastic.
You're don't insult me, okay? Don't insult me.
Every time I go back to Japan, I buy children's chopsticks that have the spring
For what?
for my white friends.
For your friends?
Yeah.
For your white friends, you said that? I like how you whispered that part. Like our audience is going to get offended. I'm your black friend and I can't do it either, though. What's inside this? What is this?
It's edamame, so it's I don't know.
Say that again?
Edamame.
Okay.
Mame is bean.
I definitely don't say it like that. Anytime I say a Japanese word, I go, edamame.
You talk like a samurai. That's so. One thing is that when people learn Japanese by listening to manga, you can tell right away because they will. Yeah, they speak in the intonation that they do in the TV shows, and it's very
exaggerated.
Yeah, exaggerated.
What do you know about like learning Japanese?
My mom's a Japanese teacher, and so yeah, and I took Japanese classes, and so it's really immersing yourself as much as you can in the language, understanding sentence structures because it's a bit wonky.
Okay.
Well, different, I guess. And then, yeah, and practice every day.
Practice every day.
Yeah. I'm, like, living here without my family. I'm, like...
It gets rusty?
Yeah, it gets rusty.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you need to practice. I try to call my mom for Ethiopian stuff and all that good things. Okay. I'm going to just try one more because, see, I feel like...
Should we start with the appetizers and then go to the ramen and then... Or ramen right away and appetizers?
Like, I feel like I'm crossing it. It's not supposed to cross, right?
No. Yeah. And then when you get real skills, you can cut things with your chopsticks.
You can what?
Cut things with your chopsticks.
All right, listen. I'm still a genin. I'm not an expert ninja yet. Okay. I let go of it and still caught it.
This is...
Oh, this is karage.
No, this is karage.
There's two different... Okay.
Yeah, karage is the Japanese fried chicken.
Okay.
And then these are
I'm going to
takoyaki.
judge your people's fried chicken. Okay, let me try.
Just bite it off.
How common is it to eat fried foods in your country?
Very common. Very common. Yeah, everything. Tempura, karage, katsu.
It's funny, all these foods that you're mentioning, they're all anime characters I've heard. That's so weird. All right, let's do the ramen. Let's try this out.
Okay, so very important. You slurp your noodles.
Okay, why?
It's a sign of politeness. It shows that it's tasty and that you're enjoying it.
Oh, really? Okay. So, for example, if I take this, do I hold the bowl? How do you...
You can hold the bowl. It's like quite full.
So I'll try not to spill any. Okay. And so normally when you're grabbing the noodles...
Yeah.
It definitely looked a lot easier in Naruto. I'm not going to lie.
Well, when it's served fresh, it's a lot easier. So you grab a... As simple as that.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, I look like I'm struggling with a fucking sea monster over here. Oh my god. Shiz.
And so you want to know something very interesting about ramen that I found out way too late in life?
What?
It's not from Japan. It's a staple food in Japan that was brought over, perhaps even appropriated, from the Chinese.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It started off in Yokohama, which is where Japan's big Chinatown is. And it's not too far from Tokyo. It's kind of like Ottawa and Gatineau. And then it started there, and then it went across the country. And during the war, there was a lot less rice, and people were still like on food rations after the war.
So they need an alternative?
Yeah, and a cheap alternative that still is filling.
So I can make this one spicy with this?
And it's like a spicy miso paste.
So, and then I just mix it?
Yeah. Have you tried the meat?
The pork? I think I did have a piece.
It's delicious.
It's like the first time I've had pork in like 6 months.
There were chicken ones that I thought maybe.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If I'm going to do this, let me do this haram. You know? Let me sin all the way.
Yeah, there's no avoiding it because even the broth is made out of pork.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And so there's one style of ramen that cooks the bones so long in the broth that it disintegrates.
Really?
Yeah. and you see like the residue of the bones.
Okay. Spicy, but not too bad.
I feel like Japanese spice, it's not like a lingering heat at all.
Except for wasabi.
It doesn't linger. It goes straight to your sinuses.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you ever get punished as a kid for sticking your tongue out?
Mm-mm.
Really? Did you ever stick your tongue out?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you knew better. My parents grabbed my tongue and would put wasabi on it and
really
close my mouth. Yeah.
Okay, that's intense. Why wouldn't you chew the noodles? It's like delicious. You just swallow it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you, but then you chew it in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was just trying to swallow it straight down and it was like really unbearable.
Yeah, no.
And then I started chewing. I'm like, yo, this shit's delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never used to want to eat this stuff, but this shit's pretty good.
It's filling. It's comforting. It's super nutritious.
Really? I would have thought noodles is terrible for your health.
Well, like, there's the noodles, but there's, like, the nutrition in the broth and, like, the egg, protein, vegetables.
Oh, is this the egg?
Yeah. And so it's, like, a medium kind of medium hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
And it's a marinated egg.
I don't even know what that means. Hard-boiled eggs, I've never marinated. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm so shocked that I'm eating something with chopsticks. Did I ever tell you the last time I went to a Japanese restaurant what happened? I ordered one of those bento boxes. Mm-hmm. Shit came out, they gave me chopsticks and all that. I was like, okay. I gave up. Lady was taking too long to bring my spoon. I just started eating with my hands. Everybody at the table was revolted, and I was loving my life. I know it's not good manners, and you guys are all about. I didn't make a mess.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I'm still like civilized, but I eat with my hands.
That's the thing, like, when you go to Ethiopian restaurants and you eat with your hands, like, would it be rude if you ate with cutlery? Or would you just look very foreign?
Yes. It wouldn't be rude. I hate it. Only because the whole point of eating with your hands is to be really grounded with the food. Mm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, it's counterproductive or counterintuitive to go to an Ethiopian restaurant and to be less connected to the food when the whole way of eating is that. I feel like eating with your hands in general always makes most food better. Like, I remember the first time I had rice with my hands, I was like, what? I was like,
rice?
Yeah, it's actually super interesting, but I feel like rice is way better with your hands than anything else. But I also understand that people feel like it's, like, unsanitary, but really, if you just clean your hands, it's fine. Eating with your hands is common in so many cultures. So how come you don't watch anime?
I watched cartoons as a kid, and so...
What does that mean? What
like
cartoon?
Japanese cartoons, but more classic ones like animations, like, and I get it, like, anime is like short for animation, but it wasn't in that same style. Like, I would watch, like, these aren't gonna mean anything to you, but Sazai-san,
Okay.
Crayon Shin-chan, Chibi Maruko-chan, which is all these, like, I guess anime style cartoons, but they're more like for children.
So that's pretty much it for today's first episode.
Thank you for dinner.
Yeah, I did pay, okay?
Such a gentleman.